Okay, so somewhat of a disaster just happened. The camera both died and ran out of film at the same time. So it is actually the next day, and I don't know if I can liquefy the decals and move them. So, kind of a big deal. But here we are again, back with the decaling. I don't know where the video died and left off. I'll have to check it when I put the videos together to make one movie. But here we are. The vinegar was left out and dried up, so I'll have to pour some more. Not a big deal. I only put about 4 or 5 drops in there, enough to cover the bottom of the inside of the cap. Wet the brush, make sure it's good to go. And I'll put the second U in the water. When I do this, I like to, you might not be able to see it, I'll adjust it. But in the water, when you do the decaling, you probably still can't see it. There's little pieces of the blue or white paper left over. I like to get them out of the way of the current decal, so that way you don't get confused and you know which decal. Like this one here is the last one left. I don't even know if you can see that, it's so small. That's the wrong direction. There you go, you can see it right there. That's the U. Really shaky, I'm sorry for that. Go ahead and put it right there, and I'll just leave it there from now on. So, we'll see what happens when I try to eventually move these around. I was worried more about them actually falling off. They stayed on there. They're still on there. You can see the I, the Z, what, Z and U? I and U and Z. So I got the next spot tended with vinegar, if you will. So it'll only take a little while for this this next letter to be ready to put on there. Decaling is actually kind of difficult if you're going to do it right and have it look good when it comes out. I've messed up a lot of models before I found what works best for me. My techniques may not work best for everyone. You really need to, in model railroading, you really need to find your own niche of how you do things. That's why I always say it's a how I do video, not how to video, because temperatures vary, moisture in the air varies throughout the world. It could be different where you are. You may have different products where you are. You may have hard water. Hard water can actually really hurt a decal and dry it out and make it peel and crack. So there's lots of different ways to do things. You don't have to do it exactly the way I do it or somebody else does it. You really need to just find your own way to do things. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the water off my finger because I don't want too much water on there. These paintbrushes in the way. Go ahead and stick the U on there. Okay, now I'm going to slide it over with the blunt end of my number 11 blade, not the sharp end. As you can see, it says Isuzu. We're going to put the backwards upside down Z on next, and this is where it's really going to be tough. Okay, so I'm going to take the water off my finger. Now this part's going to be kind of hard, so I'm going to get the the decal water plate out of the way, and the vinegar a little bit. I'm still going to need the vinegar probably, and the water. But here's what I'm going to do. The Z is on my finger as if it would be on the model. So I'm going to take it off with the X-Acto knife. Oh, I just flipped it over. Perfect. And then I'm going to put it on the model backwards, like an S. I need something else small to stick it to it, so I'm going to use a pair of tweezers. Okay, so it's on there. It actually looks right. You know, Isuzu. The biggest problem I have with this now is the actual liquid itself, because now I gotta dab it and hope that this backward Z doesn't come off, and then I have to spray it and hope that that backward Z doesn't blow off with the air of the aerosol can. I know it's not perfectly straight, but this is really, really difficult. And the longer I mess with it, the more chance there is for it to mess up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the decal bonder spray by Testors. This adds a little bit of a shellac-like cover over the decal to protect it, but it also helps the film around the decal kind of liquefy and melt into the model that you're putting it on. I don't know how well it works on metal. It works really well on all plastics, but you're going to find out real soon, and I am too. If the Z, or we'll call it the S now, if the S comes off, then we'll know. This is going to be kind of loud, so bear with me. I'm going to shake the can up pretty good. Hold it about 10 or 12 inches away from the model, and then give it a few good sprays. Okay, as you can see on my thumb as well, it'll be a little shiny at first. You can see my finger and my thumb is pretty shiny. The model is still pretty shiny too. The more it dries, the more the model itself will get a little dull or back to where it was before you sprayed it. So don't worry about that. It will be a little shiny at first, but then it'll go back to the way it's supposed to be. I really should have put the decals away before I sprayed that. I know it sounds a little picky, but I always keep my decals put away. I try to anyway. I was going fast because of the video, but any kind of sprays or aerosols can get on the decals and dry them out or hurt them. So that was bad on my behalf. I should have made sure that those were put away. Well, it looks like it is going to work. It's stuck on there and it looks pretty good. Alrighty, so here we are with the box portion of the build for the Isuzu box van. What I think I'm going to do is just make a partially open door and have it fixed. I cut out a piece of styrene that is the same width as the box. Slides in pretty good with no gaps on either side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it with a pencil about halfway the middle, because I'm going to fold some of it up over like it's actually rolled up. Now I'll take my miniature square and square off a line mark it. And for the lift gate, I have this, what was it, like step plate, tread plate? Let's see if I can get it to zoom in. You can see it has the tread plate pattern, like a diamond step plate, you know, like on work vehicles or perhaps a toolbox in the back of a truck. It's from JTT Scenery. I'll try and get the order number in there for you so you can purchase it for yourself. There it is. And of course the size and dimension on it. It does say for HO scale, but I actually think that the treads are a little too big. Actually, I think they're quite a bit too big for HO scale. But I know some companies make them in brass, but they're much more expensive. And these come in a rather large sheet. It is a 7.5 by 12 inches, and there's 2 of them in here. So, I mean, you buy one pack of this. I paid $6.99 at Hobby Lobby. You buy one pack of that, and you're going to be doing a lot of little projects with it. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and cut across that line. And I'm going to stick it up in there and see how it looks. See if it looks straight. It doesn't look all that straight to me. It may to you on the camera, but it doesn't really look all that straight to me. Probably because I was a nerd and cut it with the scissors, but that's an easy fix. A lot of times eyeballing it for me works. You know, you might want to do a little bit better of measuring and cutting. I really want one of those boards that has the lift chopper on it for styrene. I think you can get one of those through Micro Mark. I did have one a while back, but I broke it because I was just being clumsy with it. Yeah, I'm going to take a small round screwdriver and bend one piece of the top around this top of the screwdriver just to give it a curved feeling, so I can glue it up in there and make it look like it's holding in place. Okay, so I got a curve on there. It's not exactly straight, but I'm going to bend it to where when I have it inside the box, it's straight across through the gap in the opening down here. So that way it looks, you know, kosher. And there you pretty much have it right there. And then what I'll do after that is I will mark it again. I want to mark just on the inside of both sides, right up against the pillar. And the reason why I want to do that is because I'm going to take some flat pieces of styrene that I have. Let's see, where is it? Flat strip styrene. I don't exactly know the dimensions of this one yet. Okay, here it is. This is, I'll just film it for you so you can see it. And it comes in strips. So I'm going to put the strips across the back like this, and then cut them to fit those pencil marks that I just put on. And these will be the little door panels on the actual door. So once I get it on there, I can actually build a lock mechanism for the back of the door, and most of those have a little latch that swings around in a circle, and it'll have a pivoting ball joint on one end, and then like a little hook on the sharper end. This might be a little tough, so bear with me. But there is the latch I just made for the door. That will go on the bottom of the door. Of course, this is going to be painted black, so I'm not going to put it on there right now. Go ahead and test fit the door panel. Should be dry by now. Oops.